Permission to engage. Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy is hit. They're knocked out.
Welcome to Battle Training. Here you will learn to control your tank and destroy enemy vehicles.
Hey you guildies, this is JC. I just got a request from someone to build them a new PC, and the only emphasis was they wanted to be able to play World of Tanks on it. So the first thing I did was install it on my own personal computer to see how it plays and what they'll need to do. This initial section is a tutorial, how to move around, how to aim. It's pretty straightforward. You move your tank with the WASD keys, left, right, forward, reverse. You aim the turret with your mouse and fire with the left mouse button. If you're close enough to a target, you can right-click on the target and it will auto-aim, so you can cruise around with your tank without aiming at your target, clicking the left mouse button, and fire at them and shoot them down. The minimum system requirements, according to the official World of Tanks FAQ page, calls for a CPU of no less than 2 GHz speed, RAM of 1 GB, a video card with 128 megabytes on board, such as the GeForce 6600 GT, hard disk space of approximately 2 GB, and a connection rate of 128K. The system specs of this rig are a CPU i5 processor running at 3.2 GHz with 4 GB of installed memory. The graphics card is a Radeon 5770, I believe, and I have plenty of connection speed with broadband modem. Now that the specs are out of the way, I will do a little review and give you first impressions of the game. This is a very player-friendly game, I would say. Very intuitive, simple controls, very thematic. The theme is basically what drives this whole game. Even for completing the training exercise, you get a nice little bonus. But when you start up for free-to-play, it gives you 6 tanks to start with, and you pick whatever tank you want to go into battle with, and you go into battle with them. Now what I've done here is run around on my rig just to see how the graphics look like, how it played out, what the physics were like. I understand when this first launched, it didn't really have a strong physics engine. You couldn't go over hills, or couldn't fall off of cliffs, or something like that. I don't know. I didn't participate in the testing. As straightforward as this game is, I can understand why we weren't called in to do extensive testing on it. So far on these free-to-play tanks, I've only seen 4 different maps, I think. And I've explored quite a bit of them, but haven't found anything that would have been Dexteram Testing worthy as far as the extensive testing protocols that we undergo whenever we check out a new gaming environment, or world environment as the case may be. For the rest of this, I'm just going to let it run out. This is just to give you guys an idea of what the game looks like with my specs. I'm going to see if I can utilize another rig in the house. Hopefully I can find something with fewer components, or lesser components I should say. I'm sure that I'm above what the minimum requirement are for this, but had this been a client that wanted us to test their game, we would have built specifically a minimum testing rig. But since this is just for another individual and not an actual gaming developer, I'm just going to look it over to see how it looks. And the emphasis on this build is going to be on the computer itself. It's going to be a custom build. I'm going to house the motherboard inside an ammo crate, I believe, and try to fancy that up as much as possible so this gentleman can utilize it as a LAN rig, carry it around. I'm going to try to emphasize non-moving parts. I'm going to go for a fanless graphics card, fanless power supply, and I might go liquid cooling, like a single 120 radiator, 120 millimeter radiator, just to see how I can condense it in there, and then I'm going to stress test it, hopefully get it done before August, and stress test it here in the desert to see how hot the exterior can be whilst simultaneously running this. Anyways, the rest of this video is just some looks at the graphics, how it plays out, gameplay. Looks nice. There's some things later on. You can leave the game at any time by hitting the escape key and heading back to the garage. That's where all those tanks were initially. What that means is when you're in battle, if you get blown up, you can hit the escape key, exit battle, your tank will continue to stay in the battle, and then later on you can go play another one. Then later on you can come back to this tank when it's done with this particular battle and get back to it. Enjoy for the duration, and I will try to put up a step-by-step, a video blog of the custom build as it's going along so people can see how it turns out. Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe if you want to see more like this. And of course, if you enjoyed this and liked it, by all means click like. Both actions help more than you know. Thank you very much. Until next time, this is JC with Dexteram Testing.
Move out. vehicle has had it. Move out. Let's get this show on the road. Critical hit. Track hit. Critical engine damage. We're stuck here. Track hit. We've repaired the engine, but we can't go very fast.